Hi ladies, in this video we're going to go through the more challenging questions in chapter 8a or section 8a. So just a quick review of what 8a is. So we're looking at theoretical probability and experimental probability, really, the basics of probability. So if you're having trouble with anything, please make sure you let me know. Don't just assume I'm expecting you to watch these videos. I really just use these to assist you, but please ask for help during class time at any time. All right, so question 7. Find the probability of choosing a red counter if a counter is chosen from a box that contains the following counters. So first of all, we've got 3 red and 3 yellow. So you probably don't need to do it with this one, but if it helps, you can actually list what you have. So we've got 3 red and 3 yellow. Okay, and I'm just using R and Y for the counters. So if we wanted to choose a red counter, there's 3 red out of a possible 6. So we usually write the probability of red. Okay, if we're going to do the correct notation, is 3/6, which is a half. If you wanted to, you can write it as a decimal. But as I've said in the previous video, I prefer working with fractions because they're easier to deal with when we have to add and multiply, which you'll eventually have to do. All right, I'm going to leave question B. Let's do C. So 1 red, so we've got 1 red, 1 yellow, and 2 blue. So we've got 4 counters in total, but one of them is red. So the probability of obtaining a red counter is going to be 1/4, or as a decimal is 0.25. All right, question E. Now, this one is not tricky, but it some people probably think, what? So if we have 10 red only, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoops, it's going to write equals. How many red do we have? We have 10. Out of how many possible red how many counters do we have? We've got 10. So the probability of red is 1. So if we had a box with 10 red counters, the probability of picking a red counter would be certain. Okay, so it's 1. And then F, we've got 6 blue and 4 green. So if we have no red, it's going to be 0. Okay, so when we were looking at the scale in the previous video, and I might just scroll up. Whoops. Okay, so remember 1, it's certainly going to happen. So in that box of 10 red counters, it was certain. So your probability is 1. In that box of blue and green counters, it was impossible to get a red counter. So the probability is 0. All right, let's scroll down back to, whoops. Okay. Hold on, which question am I doing? Oh, I think I missed question 5 from the last video. Oh no, I did that, sorry. I just didn't do any writing on it. Okay, question 9. A quality control inspector examines clothing at a particular factory on a regular basis and records the number of faulty items identified each day. After 20 visits to the factory over the course of the year, the results are summarized in the table. So as you can see, which I didn't speak about before, but the frequency adds to 20. Okay, so there are 20 days or 20 visits represented and number of faulty items for each. So on 14 of those days, there were 0 faulty items. On 4 of those days, there was 1 faulty item. On 1 day, there was 2. At no time did they have 3 faulty items, and 1 day there was 4 faulty items. All right, so we're going to estimate the probability that the inspector will identify the following faulty items. So A, part 1. So for 0, it's 14 out of 20. Now, always simplify your fraction. So that simplifies to 7/10, or as a decimal, it's 0.7. If it was probability of 1 day. So it's going to be 4 over 20, and that simplifies to 1/5, which is 0.2. Okay, and I'll let you do the others. If the factory is fined when 2 or more faulty items are found, estimate the probability that the factory will be fined on the next inspection. So I've got buttons on my pen and I just got to make sure I don't press them because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anything bad will happen, but I don't want to deal with it. So if the factory is fined 2 or more, so we add up 2 or more. So there's 1 day where we've had 2 faulty items, 0 days for 3, and 1 day for 4 faulty items. So we just add them together. So it's going to be 2 over 20, which is 1 over 10. So the probability is going to be 0.1 for the factory to be fined, or 10%. All right, and I think that might be it. All right, girls, if you need any help with any other questions, I try to pick some difficult ones, but they all seem to be not too challenging. So if you need help with anything, please let me know. Bye.